It is my great privilege to introduce my husband and the next Vice President of the United States, JD Vance.
Donald Trump's vice presidential pick, JD Vance's wife, Usha Vance, has been grabbing headlines for her Indian origin and her stellar academic achievements. Now, many Republicans have welcomed Usha Vance, the Indian-American wife of vice presidential nominee JD Vance, as a symbol of generational change and growing diversity in the party ranks. Usha, 38, a corporate lawyer who used to be a registered Democrat, is the daughter of Indian immigrants and a practicing Hindu. She is the daughter of Chilukuri Radhakrishna and Lakshmi Chilukuri, who hail from the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh, who later went on to settle in California, United States. In fact, her father is an engineer and a university lecturer, while her mother, Lakshmi, is a biologist. They are part of a tight-knit community of Indian-American academics in suburban San Diego. Usha Vance comes from an illustrious family of academics in Visakhapatnam. Usha Chilukuri grew up in a suburb of San Diego with a reputation of being both a leader and a bookworm among her friends from childhood and adolescence. In fact, the New York Times described her in an article as brainy, ambitious and pragmatic. After 4 years at Yale, she moved to Cambridge on a Gates Fellowship, where once again, according to the New York Times, she moved in mostly liberal and left-wing circles. Despite staying out of the political spotlight, Usha Vance, who now is in the spotlight, significantly influences her husband's career.
I'm, of course, married to the daughter of South Asian immigrants to this country. Incredible people. People who genuinely have enriched this country in so many ways. And of course, I'm biased because I love my wife and her family, but it's true. Now, when I proposed to my wife, we were in law school, and I said, honey, I come with $120,000 worth of law school debt and a cemetery plot on a mountainside in eastern Kentucky. And I guess standing here tonight, it's just gotten weirder and weirder, honey. But that's what she was getting. Now, that cemetery plot in eastern Kentucky is near my family's ancestral home. And like a lot of people, we came from the mountains of Appalachia into the factories of Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
Usha met JD Vance at Yale Law School, where together they organized a discussion group on what they called social decline in white America, a theme that he would return to in his best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. The book chronicles his upbringing in a poor Appalachian family and the start of his relationship with Usha, that was also played in 2020 Netflix film adapted by Slumdog Millionaire star Frida Pinto. In fact, in a recent interview with Fox News, Usha Vance stated, and I quote, "I believe in JD and I really love him. So we'll just sort of see what happens with our lives." The couple didn't really seem to be an obvious match, but in Hillbilly Elegy, JD does praise his wife as what he calls, quote-unquote, Yale spirit guide. In fact, he says that she's the one who helped him negotiate campus life. He said that she instinctively understood the questions that he didn't even know to ask and always encouraged him to seek opportunities that he didn't know existed ever before.
I met JD in law school when he was fresh out of Ohio State, which he attended with the support of the GI Bill. We were friends first because, who wouldn't want to be friends with JD? He was then, as now, the most interesting person I knew. A working class guy who had overcome childhood traumas that I could barely fathom to end up at Yale Law School. My background is very different from JD's. I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community with two loving parents, both immigrants from India, and a wonderful sister. That JD and I could meet at all, let alone fall in love and marry, is a testament to this great country.
In his memoir, JD Vance recounts falling for a classmate who was also his partner on a writing assignment. He describes her as being bright, hardworking, tall and beautiful, with a great sense of humor and a direct way of speaking. Their relationship began at the end of their first year, and after just one date, he confessed his love for her, breaking all his dating rules. According to the American media reports, Usha Vance was a registered Democrat as of 2014, but she really hasn't been vocal about her political views in recent years. From 2015 onwards, Usha worked for a law firm that describes its corporate culture as radically progressive. Usha's bio says that her practice at the law firm mainly dealt with complex litigation and appeals in a wide variety of sectors, including higher education, local government, entertainment, technology, including semiconductors. Usha Vance is also cleared for the US Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts and Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh when he was a judge at the US Court of Appeal for the DC Circuit. She is also cleared for Amul Thapar, now a judge for the US Court of Appeals for the 6th Circuit, when he served in the US District Court of the Eastern District of Kentucky. At Yale, she was an editor for Yale Law Journal and the Yale Journal of Law and Technology. Usha Vance has now spoken at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, where she revealed her husband's culinary skills in Indian cuisine. Describing him as being a meat and potatoes kind of guy, she mentioned his newfound ability to cook Indian food as well.
When JD met me, he approached our differences with curiosity and enthusiasm. He wanted to know everything about me, where I came from, what my life had been like. Although he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy, he adapted to my vegetarian diet and learned to cook food from my mother, Indian food. Before I knew it, he had become an integral part of my family, a person I could not imagine living without.
Recalling their meeting at the Yale Law School, Ms. Vance portrayed their relationship to be what she says, quote-unquote, a testament to this great country. She also highlighted the diverse backgrounds that they come from. JD Vance has also acknowledged the influence of his Hindu wife, Usha, on his personal and spiritual life as well. In an interview with Fox News, he explained just how his wife's Hindu faith had been pivotal in guiding him through some very personal challenges and reconciling his Catholic beliefs. However, things hasn't really been all smooth sailing for the Vance family, as Usha has been a target of extreme MAGA, which is Make America Great Again elements. Many in the far right in the US are concerned about Donald Trump's vice presidential pick, JD Vance, because the problem for this community is that she's not white. Usha is an Indian American and daughter of Indian immigrants. While the shocking racism and the white supremacy that has defined the MAGA movement is now coming for her, who have targeted her because of her Hindu faith and Indian origin. Many say that Vance would go soft on immigration issues, and they also think that his marriage to a Hindu who's Usha will impact Republican stance on immigration. In fact, they're even concerned about how she's going to be impacting Vance and the entire Republican political campaign. Well, commentators haven't even spared Vance's 3 young children, who said, and I quote, that there is an obvious Indian coup taking place in the United States right before our eyes. This was written by conservative commentator Stu Peters on X, adding a screenshot of an article about Vance's 3 children. And it's not just the MAGA extremists. Usha Chilukuri Vance is facing attacks from Indian origin activists and Democrat Sarah Rao, who posted on X, and I quote, Usha Vance, the latest Indian American woman delighted to do the bidding of white supremacy. Who needs white women when brown ones are ready to serve? Well, whatever the criticism be, JD Vance is Donald Trump's preferred choice for the US presidential elections, and there's no going back from here.